Howdy. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Charles McCarroll, Inside Sales Manager at CFS Brands. I have been working with IFG for my entire tenure at CFS Brands, pretty much. It'll be 3 years in September. So I just want to go over a few things this morning. First, with the acquirement of the Foodware Group, we now are a house of many more brands. Now we have GT, Winco, Barmaid, just a few. So if you have any questions about that after this, feel free to reach out. Also, due to that acquisition, there has been some coverage changes for you guys. Um, I will no longer be covering Florida. I do have the Florida Panhandle, so if you do have any end users in the Florida Panhandle, feel free to reach out. I'm always open to helping. But now your main contacts on the screen are Jay Pate. He's your regional sales director. He'll be out in the field all the time. So if you ever need anything, feel free to reach out to him. He came over from Winco, um, so he will be the expert at that. My counterpart, inside sales manager Gerald Lyon, he will be pretty much taking over my role for you guys in the general Florida area. He is in the office with me. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to them. Um, if you can't get a hold of them, feel free to reach out to me whenever. I am still covering the Carolinas. So my counterpart, Mark Massey, he also came over from Winco. Um, he's out in the field. I believe he lives in Nashville. Um, he's a little bit closer to you guys, and he's always in the area. Um, we will all get connected. But if you have any questions or anything going on in Carolinas, uh, we are your guys. So I will get started on product training. I want to talk about wet floor care a little bit. Uh, the overview, we're going to go over wet mop types. I may go a little fast. I don't want to take up too much time, but I will send this deck out to the sales team for reference afterwards. Um, why you should work with CFS Brands. We're customer centric, customer focused in all we do. We align our business the way you align your business. We've adopted continuous improvement business philosophy. Um, just like I mentioned, our new sales structure, um, we have multiple layers of support, and we're continuing to maximize how efficient we can help you guys. Um, so you have dedicated account managers and sales teams, and we're committed to partnering with you. Um, some of our wet mop types, we have the cut in flow pack, synthetic flow pack, microfiber, loop ended and flat. We've talked about some of these, I think, in our last sales meeting. I don't know if any of you were able to attend, so I won't spend too much time on it. We have tons of resources, and I can send out some links for you guys to, if you ever need to pull resources before you go talk to an end user, you can use those. So proper mopping technique, this is something that I think is very important and a lot of people probably don't know. So when you start, you begin so that you can work your way backwards without having to walk over the finished area. So you finish where you don't have to walk back over, pretty much, plain and simple. Your form, always go side to side using a nest pattern, never front to back. That is the most efficient and effective way to mop. And a pro tip, use the mop pad as an abrasive scrubber for tough marks or dirt. Um, that is very important and that will maximize your mopping technique. Our selling strategy, so the food service distributor holds the highest value pay. Um, that will be you guys. Some of our broadliners hold the highest logistical play. Um, our rental programs, they hold the highest convenience play, and our Jansen holds the price play for our end user. These are just things to keep in mind when you're talking to the customer about what their needs may be when discussing wet floor care. Some of our competition, Rubbermaid, Janico,
Okay.
Golden Star, Impact, Cedar. Cedar is more of a, I don't think in our market we shouldn't be competing with Cedar. Cedar's kind of more of your commercial users, but they are a competitor of ours. So we carry a comprehensive list of mops for any application, solutions for all vertices, including food service, hospitality, healthcare, education, and industrial. Several handles to fit all makes, and I will send over a complete mop list in an Excel format. To piggyback off of the wet floor care, we have color code. So for all of the wet floor care that we have color coded cleaning tools to fit those needs. We have tons of colors. And one thing that we've recently done, we've removed some or lowered the minimum order quantities on some of these colors like pink and purple, so that they're easier to buy for you guys. Some people that wanted those were not able to purchase them because the MOQs were very large. But after evaluating with the product management and pricing, they were able to lower those so that our customers can actually purchase them. Same with our Broncos. All of those colors are available in our Broncos. We do have the trim lines and we have dollies for both of those. Some of you are probably very familiar. I know you guys should have some in your office. I've sent samples, so feel free to check those out whenever you get a chance. Those are our dollies. And other wet floor care solutions, our wet floor signs are available. On the bottom, you'll see our mopping handle options. We got the quick release options, either in fiberglass or wooden, jaw style, and the OmniFit Acme thread. Those come in all of our colors. I wanted to talk about the OmniFit dual cavity mop bucket. We have I sent over a sample to Marty in his office. So I know for a fact he has one, but if anybody needs a sample of the dual cavity mop bucket, just let me know. I can send one out to you. Um, it's one of our more popular products and we are very competitive in price. So it should be an easy item to move. Um, on here, there's a comparison. Um, in our The only mop bucket that can even compare to it is the Ecolab, and we are way more affordable than the Ecolab dual cavity mop bucket. The dual cavity allows us to be more efficient. You can purchase that mop bucket, the dirty water insert. You can purchase that separately, and if you would want to, a user could just take that mop bucket out when it's dirty and swap it out for another one, just to be more fast and efficient. So the cost savings and the time is very valuable with that dual cavity. It's very convenient. A few things to know is that our mop bucket does come in 6 colors, aligning with the HACCP standards. Also, we have made sure to price our replacement parts for this product reasonably, unlike some of our competitors. And then we got the good old fashioned Clean Pale Pros. We have these in green and red, and we also have stands for those as well. With that being said, I will go into our Wipes Plus. Wipes Plus is an option if you want to get away from towel and bucket. Um, it's we acquired Wipes Plus about a year ago, but now we're really trying to move in and there's a lot of opportunity for growth in this category. So it's a lot to talk about, but I'll breeze through it pretty good. So experience the convenience of our color coded Wipes Plus products designed to streamline your cleaning routine. Our green 3-in-1 wipes clean, sanitize, and disinfect in one easy step. The blue are alcohol-free wipes that offer effective protection. They're gentle, ensuring a sting-free and non-drying experience. Um, Purple is our alcohol-based sanitizing wipes. And the red, which is probably our highest mover and our most popular, it's our rinse-free with no harsh chemical residue. We use to safely disinfect food and non-food contact surfaces. With those, we have uh, with the pouches. We do have a waist belt for that, to where you could just put a pouch in there, and if you are bussing tables, or even if you're in healthcare and you need to clean something real quick, you could put any of our pouch products in that case and just pull them straight from your belt. It makes it fast and efficient when trying to get done. The yellow are the cleaning wipes. They quickly and efficiently clean, but have no kill claims. They're just like a standard table wipe with no kill claims. As I mentioned, these are the non-rinse contact food wipes. EPA registered, NSF listed, kills 99% of germs, kills top foodborne pathogens. No rinse required, so you just wipe the table and let it dry, and you're good to go. Um, it's formulated to aid in the reduction of cross-contamination, and it's ideal for disinfecting food contact and non-food contact surfaces. Our 3-in-1 disinfecting wipes clean, sanitize, and disinfect in one easy step. Reduces risk of cross-contamination, and it kills 99% of viruses, including flu and COVID-19, which are the big ones. Um, the white material is bleach-free, ammonia-free, and phosphate-free. It's ideal for uses in hospitals, airports, schools, hotels, exercise facilities, and public restrooms. Um, our alcohol-free sanitizing wipes, they're less harsh than the alcohol-based wipes. Um, Alloy and vitamin E to moisturize the skin, and has a pleasant scent, lint-free and non-abrasive. Um, the hand wipes clean the hands and makes them more effective and efficient than like your hand gels for disinfecting. We have these around our office, and if you guys need any around your office, I can send out samples of these as well. Um, Here are hand sanitizing wipes. These meet the food code standards. Um, they kill 99% of germs, reduce risk of cross contamination, pretty much the same exact properties as are the previous wipes that I talked about, except these are alcohol based.
Hey, Charles.
Yes,
We actually had a question about the wipes. They
yes,
want to know, can you flush the wipes in the restroom? So any of the
no.
wipes, are you able to flush them? Okay. No,
No,
they
you
are not
cannot flush any
flushable.
of the wipes. There's one product that we
Okay.
do have. If they're not flushable, but we do sell baby wipes as well. So if there are any
Gotcha.
areas or changing tables or anything like that, with any of your customers, um,
Okay.
feel free to reach out about the baby wipes, but no, they are not flushable.
Okay. Thank you.
And the table wipes I discussed, for the red bucket, ideal replacement for anyone that wants to get away from towel and bucket, like the Clean Pill Pro. It's safe for customers, staff, and any tabletop surface. They improve your customer's dining experience before their food even arrives. Quickly and efficiently clean tables and countertops and other hard surfaces. Um, there are cost savings tied to this, especially now after COVID. Um, it's been difficult for a lot of industries to staff in the restaurant industry. But by having these and having the tools and resources that Wipes Plus can provide, this can provide huge cost savings and efficiency for the customer. Here's our complete solution. We have canisters, wall brackets, wire brackets, plastic wall mounts, that pack holder with belt that fits any soft pack Wipes Plus product, and you can use that anywhere. Very convenient. And we also have our floor dispenser, stainless steel and powder coated. One thing that I didn't include on here are our probe wipes. Our probe wipes are gaining more and more popularity. They come individually packed, so if you do need to clean off a probe, you don't have to worry about it being used more than once. You can just open that individual pack, use it, toss it, and keep it moving. So that is another item that we have. And I'll send the links to all the Wipes Plus resources. There's a ton of them. It's like a whole booklet of them, but there's a lot of room for growth with Wipes Plus.
No problem.
All right, so we're just going to spend about 15 minutes. I hope everybody knows who Accurex is on this call, but we want to spend a few minutes and maybe turn up the roots a little bit and give you a little more background of who we are, where we came from, and where we're going. Anthony, give me a click. All right, so Accurex is a portion of the Greenheck company. We are under the Greenheck umbrella. The if you don't know Greenheck, we're almost a $2 billion company, and we lead the world in how to move air in the manufacturing world. Bob and Bernie Greenheck founded the company in 1947. It's privately held. It's also set up where it'll be privately held in perpetuity. We've got Bob and Bernie's family are now on the board, and this company, never say never, but this company will we doubtfully ever see a public Greenheck. It's family rooted and family will stay. We now have about 5,500 employees scattered across the nation and the world. We've got plants in California, North Carolina, Kentucky, a brand new campus in Oklahoma. And interestingly enough, I can't share the where, but we are opening a new campus in the Southeast, and that announcement will probably come within the next couple of weeks. It's real exciting. I'm in South Carolina and travel the Southeast. I'm the regional manager for the Southeast, so it's specifically exciting for me because it'll help feed the Southeast, and which in turn helps y'all. Anthony, give me a click. So Greenheck has three divisions, and if you notice, if it's made to move air, Greenheck makes it. There's Unison and Innovent. Valiant makes specialized rooftop package units. We've got our own coil company in Kentucky, so we make our own HVAC coils. And then Accurex with, again, plants Kings Mountain and Tulsa, and then a new one coming in the Southeast. Give me a click. This slide is specific to all our KVS, which is our kitchen ventilation plants. We have gone fully automated. The Prima system has been set up in our KVS facilities. Prima allows us to purchase rolled steel in either 400 series or 300 series, 18 gauge, and it's specific cut to length. These systems can almost produce a hood without hands on. So it's allowed us to retrain some of the factory personnel to other specific portions of the plant, but the automation can turn, start, bend, and have a hood at the end of the line. This helps. In a perfect world, we still battle a little of supply chain here and there, but when the world catches up and we're almost there, these hoods, because of this automation, will be less expensive and the lead times will be much quicker. Give me a click. I'm going to steal this slide from Anthony, and then I'll let him take the rest of it. But Accurex is one of two companies that can provide a full system or turnkey. In the kitchen with hoods, pollution control units, fabricated grease duct, you see the list, fire suppression, all makeup air, all exhaust. We've got a utility distribution line in both plants now. Residential range hoods, which I'm sure Anthony will touch on for a minute. And then we've got outside after manufacturing design verification and startup. So it's important to know that when you reach out to us, we can provide soup to nuts, if you will, cradle to grave. We can do it all. And there's, as I said, only one other competitor that can. Anthony, it's yours, bud.
Thanks, Skip, and thanks everyone for allowing us this opportunity. So my name is Anthony Barrett. I am the Accurex account manager for Central Florida. So I'm located in Tampa, but also cover kind of the Orlando, Jacksonville markets, as well as everywhere in between. So one thing I do kind of want to add to this as well is we are the sole hood manufacturer in your buying group. So for IFED. So that's one thing, we play in the buying groups, and, we kind of focus a lot of our efforts with the buying groups and buying group players. So with that, we'll kind of get into a little bit of product differentiation, just some high level things that we do, things that we offer that a little bit different than some of our competition. So starting with Green motor technology. So basically what this is a direct drive electrically commutated motor. These are becoming more and more prevalent in the industry, being that they are quieter, more energy efficient, and in our case, the way that they're set up, they do not require VFDs for balancing or modulation or anything like that. So it's all kind of built internally with a 0 to 10 cable going from the motor itself down to the kitchen hood control panel. Touching on grease grabber filters. So we do offer different levels of grease filtration in the hood. The grease grabber is the industry's really only two-stage filter that it's the best mechanical filtration on the market that will literally pull out almost 100% of grease particulate from 5 microns and up. A little smaller than that, you might have a few getting through. But there are other means to capture that as well. Heated makeup air turn down. I won't really touch on that right now, as we have some slides further on that will discuss this, but we do offer 50% airflow reduction, which is by far the best in the industry. Auto scrubber hood. It's the only true self-cleaning hood in the industry. That means it'll actually clean the hood filters and the exhaust plenum behind the filters in place, allowing you to not have to remove them on a daily or weekly occurrence. So there's a good time and place for a piece of equipment like this, and it's something we do offer. Moving on to the fire-ready residential range hood. So this was kind of a niche product that we developed to cover I guess like a gray area in code. So basically what this is a fully packaged hood that is meant for a residential appliance in a commercial setting where the cooking occurring underneath is not for profit, so not a restaurant. So typically we're going to see these in a home ec room or a dorm, a fire station, an occasional church, or a nursing home where you have a residential appliance in a commercial space. So it's kind of a unique thing that we're seeing kind of talked about more as code progresses. Last thing on this slide is DOES. Again, I'll have some more slides on this, but it's something we do offer, as we are seeing a bit of a shift in the industry to DOES in certain applications. So touching on just some high level things that we do different in our manufacturing construction for different components of a hood system, starting with hoods. So first of all, our hoods are fully 18 gauge material that are fully welded. A lot of our competition are going to use 20 gauge, and then they're going to use a combination of bolts, rivets, and caulk. So ours are fully welded, liquid tight. Additionally, all of our hoods are fully listed 2UL by UL. So some of our competition will see listing their hoods to ETL and other different certifications. UL is by far the most stringent and most widely accepted in the industry. As I mentioned, so we offer different levels of grease filtration in the hood. I touched on the grease grabber, which is a 2-stage. There's a grease extractor, which is a step down that probably encompasses 80 to 90% of what we sell. And then the standard traditional baffle filters for situations where you have convection ovens or combi ovens or things like that. Reducing clearances, with older buildings that are maybe wood structured, we do offer fire rated insulation that can be put on really any side of the hood to meet those clearance to combustibles. We do offer continuous capture. So basically what that is when you have a longer hood or appliance lineup that's going to require multiple hood sections, it kind of cores out the in between. So from the underside, it looks like one continual hood. So just a few things that we offer, and pretty much standard as part of our hoods. They look good. They're heavier duty, and just a clean look overall. So moving on to exhaust fans. This is really our bread and butter. As Skip mentioned, we're part of the Greenheck group, which has always been an HVAC manufacturer first and foremost. So we kind of take pride in how we manufacture and how we design our all of our rooftop equipment. So as simple as it is, this is our standard grease upblast exhaust fan. This is what you're going to primarily see on most hood applications. So what we do a little bit different than everyone else is we have a single piece wind band. So the wind band, I don't know if you can see my mouse, is this external piece of metal. Basically, it's a single aluminum or galvanized piece, depending on the type of fan, where most of our competition is going to take a piece or multiple pieces and bolt and caulk it together. Basically, what we do is we also take that wind band and we fully weld it around the bottom here, creating a liquid tight, where most of our competition will be using bolts and caulk. Now, in theory, that might be okay, might be cheaper, but in a grease application, you have hot grease continuously eroding away at that caulk. So over time, it will cause leaks, where with a laser weld, you're not going to have any of that. This application shows a belt drive fan, but we do offer these blast fans with direct drive, as well as our direct drive Very Green, which is the ECM motors I was talking about earlier. Last thing I'd like to touch on, as silly as it may sound, but we offer the biggest breather tube on the market, and what that means for you is longer fan life. How? So the more air you can insert into the motor chamber, the lower the temperature, the longer that motor and fan life will last. So our fans are really made to last. Moving on to controls, we, like most manufacturers, are going to offer a UL listed control panel that meets code. We offer it in two variations: constant volume and variable volume. What's shown here is our constant volume controls. It has the temperature interlock, automatic fan activation, basically all the requirements needed to comply with NFPA 96, IMC 507, 508, and such. So this is standard. This is typically what we see on smaller hoods, hoods with lower airflows, things like that. Variable volume, we're seeing a push more, especially with energy conservation. So technically, if you're following IECC since the mid 2010s, most kitchens or most states are going to require that any hood system over 5,000 CFM is going to require variable volume, and that system needs to turn down to 50%. So we're really the only manufacturer that can actually meet that 50% turn down, and we are able to accommodate that through a various set of ways. A couple internally into this panel. One by how we mount our temperature probe. So a variable volume system is controlled based on the temperature underneath the hood. So as you're doing more cooking and the heat's rising, it's going to cause the exhaust fan and supply fan to ramp up or down based on that heat load. So by mounting our temp sensors in the hood capture area rather than behind the filters, like what most of our competition does, we get a quicker reaction. So you get more payback, more bang for your buck, which is kind of what this next slide shows. So having the greater turn down, the quicker reaction, we see a little bit more energy savings, so more savings for the owners and end users of the product themselves. And how we're able to turn down a little bit higher than everyone else is really based on the makeup air side of things. So exhaust fans, I think most manufacturers can accommodate the 50% turnaround, but what really differentiates is on the makeup air. So basically, whether it's a heated or cooled unit, there's different ways to go about. So with a heated unit, most heated units are going to be direct gas fired. So in order to basically get that unit to call for heat and engage that, we have to have a certain airflow or pressure drop across the burner. The burner being, if you can see my mouse here, this area shown. And in order to meet that, you have to have certain airflows going across. So we developed a patented barometric bypass damper that adjusts accordingly based on how much airflow. So you allow, whether it's 50% or 100%, it'll open to what's needed to allow that burner to become lit and stay lit. Now on the cooling side, it's a little bit more advanced. So we'll touch on that on this slide. So most of our competition on a unit with packaged DX cooling is going to utilize residential condensers, typically mounted on the top of the unit. And the way their units are laid out, they utilize a blow through. So essentially, I think this animation moves, the airflow will enter the unit through the blower, and then the airflow will be discharged at a kind of a directed rate across a portion of the coils. Accurex and Greenheck have a bit of a different setup. We use what we call a draw through. We're able to do this because we use commercial condensers that are not mounted on top, rather into the unit itself. So it allows for a draw through. How this works is the airflow enters the unit across all faces of the coil and then into the blower before being discharged out the unit. What's great about this is it allows us to it allows us to have more turn down. It allows us to start cooling at a lower temperature and allows us a lower leaving air temperature than really anyone in the industry. And that's because of this draw through. So when you're blowing too much cool air through an area of the coils and not utilizing all faces, you can cause the coils to freeze, which would basically incapacitate your unit. So by utilizing all faces of the coil, it allows us to achieve these better tolerances, these better airflows and such. This next slide, I won't touch on a whole lot. Why is what I was just talking about is important. And if I point out one thing, take a look at Pittsburgh. So most of our competition, because they're utilizing the blow through, cannot start cooling till 85 degrees outside, where we can start 75. As you see in Pittsburgh, that's 2% of the days. That's roughly equates to a week a year. So if you're going to pay for the cooling, but you're only going to use it a week a year, it really doesn't make sense. Where with us, that 19% really will encompass, you know, your warmer months, June, July, and August, allowing you to use it more regularly. With this, like I said, our competition, for the most part, they cannot start cooling till 85, and they're turned down. They're kind of limited to upper 70s, right around 80 degrees, where we can go a heck of a lot lower than that. Staying on the supply fan side of things, we'll touch on dedicated outdoor air units, or DOAs, like I mentioned before. So basically, if you're not familiar, what this is a rooftop unit and a makeup air unit kind of combined. We're seeing the industry in certain applications get a push toward this. It's a great system in the right application. Unfortunately, we're seeing some of our competition push this on applications that I wouldn't necessarily recommend myself, especially because these units are doing heating, cooling, as well as dehumidification. You know, the cost to operate these is going to be more in line with a standard rooftop unit. So it doesn't necessarily always make sense to add it in with the hood when, you know, most of that is going to be exhausted right back out of the hood. So our units are pretty robust. They're not as standard as a makeup air. They can take a lot more CFM. We offer a ton of more cooling. And then our units are really unique because we offer recirc and unoccupied recirc. So what that means is you can run this system as a rooftop unit while not requiring the hoods to be on and in an operation. So just working with us, what do we need to get started? an appliance lineup, and that is it. We can kind of size you a hood system based solely on the appliance lineup with some assumptions, of course, and be able to provide CAD, Revit, quotes, product training, lunch and learns, whatever you need. The more information you can provide us, the better. So if you are,
Hey, fine, how are you? I'm good, thanks.
is that a question? Oh, all right. Well, I'll keep going. The appliance
No,
lineup is
You're good. Go ahead.
okay. The appliance lineup is key. We, like I said, we can run a lot with just that. But if you do have mechanical plans, architecturals, food service plans, the more you can provide us, the better. But at a minimum, an appliance lineup is typically what we need to get a budget or something in the ballpark. What else? So one thing I do like to touch on, let's have some communication. Having a good line of communication allows us to grow together. We kind of do things our own way, being that we are an HVAC manufacturer first and foremost. So let us be able to design around some of our strengths and not necessarily follow, some of our competition. And that's from a product to, how you want things done, whether it's, including installation, where things are shipping to. The more communication we have up front and throughout the process of a job, from design to kind of that final startup, the better and the smoother the job will go. So just always be upfront and open, and relay whatever requests and concerns, comments, whatever, the more we know, the better. One thing I will say is we're not going to force products on you guys. I know some of our competition, depending what line they're dealing with, will kind of force options, accessories, and things like that on you that are not necessarily needed. I know personally myself, if I'm including something that's not standard, that's gonna go above and beyond what code requires, I'm gonna clearly explain in an email why I'm including it, whether it's a performance or aesthetic benefit. But ultimately, it'll be up to you and your customer to decide whether or not that's something you want to keep in or not. So that can go from hood accessories to ductwork to different motor types, fire system. We're going to design a system that not only meets code and performs well, but keeps it as minimal as we can. That's still meeting those requirements. So partnership and trust. So Accurex respects the sales channels. We view our relationship with you, the food service dealer, a little bit different than our competition. We're definitely not in the business of using you guys as a lead generator and selling around to you. We don't sell to end users or online or anything like that. We basically have two avenues: food service dealers, consultants, and our GreenHeck mechanical reps. Locally, it'd be Stan Weaver in most of Florida, but that's dealing with them solely and food service. So we respect the sales channels. We're one big team at the end of the day. So I know many of you that I've worked with might have jobs that are outside of the state of Florida. And that's okay. I'll get on the phone with our local account manager and wherever that job is located to learn about the required codes, requirements, things like that. And as well as, if a job does hit the streets, we're gonna protect you guys, and we're gonna have that cross territory collaboration to make sure you guys are protected, but they're still, meeting the needs of their customers as well. And ultimately, we're the liaison between you, the engineers, contractors, consultants. A lot of times jobs will be split, and by that I mean the hoods might go food service with the associated exhaust fans going on the mechanical side. Allowing us to work kind of with our GreenHeck reps and the food service dealers, we do have a bit of communication and control, and can ensure a project goes smoothly from the design and engineering stage all the way through installation. The job doesn't end, as soon as the order has been placed. So the reality is that there's going to be questions that come up from during installation, startup, or just the overall life of the product. I know no product is perfect, and there's different warranties that we'll use, and that different components that'll have warranties of things that might go out. We offer technical support over the phone. Our tech support engineer team is second to none. I have yet to see them not be able to talk on a contractor or electrician through installation questions or troubleshooting, anything at the control panel or whatnot. But we do offer design certification and startup. That's something we've been really pushing with food service dealers, especially since a lot of jobs, like I mentioned, might be split up with the fans going one way and the hoods going the other. This just gives you and the customer a little peace of mind that everything was installed, landed correctly, that the airflows that it was designed for are being met, things like that. So it's ultimately not a requirement, but it's something we like to push. It removes a lot of headaches from a job. So again, before I get to this next slide, we're team players. We reach out to your local Accurex rep. I'll have a slide that kind of shows who that person may or may not be. But the more communication we can have, the better. We're here to be a partner with you, whether it's us coming in doing individual trainings or lunch and learn presentations. We want you to be as educated as can be, and we really want you to be team players with you guys in the IFED buying group. So this is kind of our high level. So as Skip mentioned, he is the regional sales manager for the Southeast. So he is my boss. The country is divided up into 3 regions. So the Southeast, Northeast, and West. And then above them are our national sales managers, Patrick and John, that kind of handle different avenues. So with that said, here's the list of I think I was able to get every IFG office encompassed here. And in case I didn't, you can always go to our website, accurex.com. And on the top, there's a sales button. You can click that and type in your zip code or select by state, and it'll take you right to the associate account manager. So with that, I guess open the floor to any questions, comments, and